as it is a four-man weave. I lose out 1, 2, 3 positions just in turn 1 alone. Hey guys, Stratos here. Welcome back to yet another banger video. And today we find ourselves at Fuji Silver Arrow Showdown. 20 minutes of greatness. We got 13 laps. Let's get into it. This is me, car number 63, that Iron Links Grove Mercedes with the red highlights. We wait for a green flag. We wait for a green light. And we'll hear that acceleration soon. And there it goes. Green, green, green. Let's go racing. Not the best start from that Mercedes right there, that black one. He tumbles all the way to the back. But it's a drag race between me and this other black Mercedes to the right of me. I end up winning the drag race and the battle of the late breakers into turn 1. A little bit over the curb. That's really what you want here, especially on this first lap. And disaster for the Red Bull Racing Mercedes, and off 2 more go. Absolutely just bowling pins on lap 1. Another car goes off. He goes down from P7 down into P8, and I'm fighting to keep my nose clean through it all. Around the outside and up the inside I go to take P8 away from Nugan. I tuck in, and this becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4-man weave, really 5-man weave. Everybody's together, and it's gearing up to be an amazing first lap. It's already off to a great start so far. I got out of that turn in good form, grab a little bit of that curb as I inch closer and closer to P7 with App right ahead. He's tucked in behind Beard. And I got a feeling this won't be the last time we hear those two names. A little squirrely on the exit, but we're on the front straightaway for the first time at full speed. Open throttle. And there's 2 on the left right there. One tucks into the pits. Another one, I guess, got caught out trying to stay in their slipstream as I try to get towards the slipstream of Pete and Beard as they swap positions left, right, and center, and Beard keeps it through turn 1 as we all make our way into the rest of sector 1. You can see everyone's more or less single file as Beard and App go side by side through this turn. I wouldn't have recommended that. You lose a lot of speed, but hey, this is racing, and on the first couple laps you really got to get all you can before everybody settles into their rhythms. But this is a full sprint, balls to the wall, as fast as you can go. Everything you've got for 20 minutes. And it's going to be everything they've got to keep me behind as we make our way into Sector 2 and down into this downhill, high commitment, fast right-hander. I'm on the brakes. I grab the curb on the inside, a little bit on the outside as well. And I get a better run through there than App, and that allows me to close that gap. It's around 0.3 seconds, 0.2 for a little bit, but we stay more or less neck and neck. He gains about a 10th, loses that same 10th, and I run a little wide. He doesn't get the best rotation out of there. He's forced to compromise, and that allows me to get alongside. I'm gonna look to get ahead here. I think he's gonna keep it, but I give him a little love tap as I inch further and further ahead. I still have that inside line, ladies and gentlemen, but we're more or less neck and neck here. And as we go past the camera shakes with the force of everybody going past, and I get the move done, and up into P7 I go, and off into the distance has gone Baird. That gap is now 1.4 seconds. 1.5, I don't get it all right out of that turn. And this turn right here, this real long sweeping horseshoe, is very important that you get this right, especially this exit right here. And you really got to commit. You see that App commits a lot more, and so do the cars behind him. That gap closes down a lot more. He's going to look to try to overlap. He's looking for chinks in armor, and I think he found one. And it's going to be up to me to defend down into this downhill right-hander. He thinks better of it and just looks to set it up going into Sector 3. I'm still trying to close this gap between me and Baird, but all the while I'm trying to close it, that gap is getting bigger and bigger. Beard is running an open air as well, and the front runner, he gets a little squirrely out of there. It is a 1, 2, 3, 4-man weave behind for P2. It's Anlauf, it's Flory, it's H the second, and it's TRM bringing up the rear of that 4-man weave. Beard's right behind them, and I'm starting to create a bit of a slipstream train myself. App still isn't done yet. That fight still isn't over, and Tibber is going to look to take the most, to make the most out of us fighting. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The more you fight, the more time you lose, and the harder you fight, the faster you lose that time. I commit a lot through the left-hander. I grab the curb on the exit. I sweep out wide to try to cut in, and that's going to be all App needs to go up the inside, but he's going to have to go around the outside here. Is he going to be able to make it stick and keep the move? I don't think he can, but he thinks he can. He manages to stay ahead, and now this is a tried and true 3-man weave. It's App, it's me, and it's Tibber bringing up the rear. I slide in behind App as we make our way into Sector 3. Get a slightly better exit using that curb to my advantage on the inside. And it is so important as we make our way through this turn. I get ahead for a little bit, but better traction proves beneficial for App as we come together, that being my fault, of course, on that collision. And I'm going to have a bit of front damage. He's going to have a bit of rear damage as I slot in behind his diffuser to make the most of this slipstream. But I'm trying for the side draft and just trying to keep my nose where that inside line is. I want that inside line real estate. He doesn't want me to have it, but he also wants that optimal line. Under braking we go. And sayonara. This job is far from over. And Anlauf has unfortunately tumbled down the order. I'm not too sure what happened to him. He must have gone off. But he tucks in, and now this is a 4-man weave. And it's less than a second between me and Tibber. And less than a second between me and Anlauf for a second. As that gap more or less stays the same. We all make our way down the hill. And it's me, it's App, it's Tibber, and it's Anlauf. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody gets through cleanly. It's just going to be a matter of who can set up this Sector 3 the best. Through goes Anlauf on Tibber. He's ahead. He's up in a P8. I stay in P6 here. App doesn't look for it into that corner. It's just not really there. He's really not close enough to contend for that. Looks like he slips out just a little bit, but maybe it worked to his favor. Maybe that was deliberate. That gap closes down now to about 0.3 at one point. I'm trying to run away, but App is staying right there in my slipstream and making it really difficult for me to really pull away. But me and App are going to start to pull away from Anlauf. But Anlauf has something to say about that under braking, and so does Tibber as he goes up the inside and makes his way back through. He leads Anlauf going into Sector 1. And I commit, and that Mercedes V8 sounds amazing. It sounds just like this in real life. Somebody else has joined that fight, and that is Nichols. He makes some sort of mistake. He dips that left rear onto the grass, and that's not going to be what he wants. And it's almost contact. I think there's contact between Nichols and Anlauf as they swap positions briefly, but Anlauf is going to have that inside line, and he's going to make his way back through, at least for the time being. But don't count out Nichols. That exit was a lot better, and he's going to stay ahead. I start to pull away as Tibber and App go side by side down the straightaway as Enlauf and Nichols continue to stay single file. But under braking position swap, and who's going to win when it's all said and done? It's still App. He still stays ahead of everybody. But don't count out Tibber. He's right there and almost goes ahead. He's forced to slot back up the inside. And this is a very, very entertaining battle. And if you're feeling froggy, jump in. Enlauf jumps very, very high. He's up into P9. And Tibber is unfortunately going to suffer there. I've pulled away. I'm about 0.7 seconds away from everybody else. But Enlauf is going to want his position back. He was further up the pecking order than where he is right now. And pure heartbreak. H the second has a terrible exit out of that ultimate turn onto this front straightaway, and it's gonna be all I can do to hold off Enlauf. He got a way better exit there, and he's gonna put a nose right where my right rear is, meaning I'm more or less landlocked here. Not where I want to be, as it is a 4-man weave. I lose out 1, 2, 3 positions just in turn 1 alone. It's going to be everything I can do to fight off Nichols. I go up the inside. Nichols thinks better of it, and contact. Nichols runs into my diffuser, and that definitely dislodged something. He looks to try to go around the outside, and that's going to yield him that inside line if he can get it done. And unfortunately for me, but fortunately for him, he does. Slight overlap on the exit. A little love tap to Johnson. And I'm so sorry. That was not what I meant to do. So that little tap on exit being all it took for that poor Mercedes to veer off. That just goes to show you how sensitive the suspension geometry is in these cars. I mean, the base setup gives you a lot of room for error, but still a chance for you to have an error. We start lap 9, and rain is breathing down my diffuser to the tune of 0.4 seconds. And it is everything I can do to chase down Nichols and Enlauf. As Enlauf is going to have a go at H the second, and he gets ahead of H the second and leads the pair of them going through sector 1. Nichols makes that a 3-man weave, and it is everything I can do to catch up to this trio of cars up ahead. They're battling hard, and that's going to make it a lot easier for me to gain, but I still have to do my job. That doesn't change anything. I still have to do my job. I'm doing it pretty well. I'm holding off rain, but it is not time to exhale. We hold our breath as we make our way into sector 3 for the 9th time. Rain makes a mistake. He loses some time, and Johnson is back up that mistake at the beginning, proving non-fatal. He almost takes out Rain, getting a bit too ambitious in the final corners of sector 3, especially those slow corners. You really want to let the slow parts be slow, but that's one where there's definitely a lot of room for understanding, and if someone understands it more, they can go up the inside, just brake a little bit later. And I think Johnson just misjudged that that gap, and it kind of closed in his face, unfortunately. Enlauf continues to hold off Nichols and H the second as Nichols makes a mistake, and that allows me to go around the outside and get ahead and slot right in front of him, making it so that he really can't go for a counter move. H the second, something happened to him as well. He lost some momentum, but Nichols isn't going to take losing his position lightly. Gives me a little love tap with his splitter, and he's not going to look for it up the inside. He's going to try to maximize his exit. I maximize mine as well, and fortunately for me, I'm able to stay ahead of Nichols. But actually that gap stays the same between me and H the second, as Enlauf has disappeared into that Japanese sun right there. You can barely even see him. He's about 3 seconds up, and then Beard, he's up there. He's up there, man. But another moment. Nobody's perfect. Enlauf showing us that. And yet another moment of heartbreak. He tumbles down to P13 when it's all said and done. P14. And that is not what you want to see. But it is a dream come true for me, as Nichols and H the second fight like dogs for that inside line. And it's going to be Nichols that gets that inside line, and it's going to be Nichols that gets the move done on H the second. H the second is forced to tuck in behind the diffuser. And they're still fighting. They almost go side by side through this fast left-hander. And that's really not what you want to do. It slows you down so much, and it really leaves you as a sitting duck for the cars behind. We're on lap 11 now, and this race is starting to come to a close. No one's giving up yet, and you can see I've made my way to the top of this really long snake train of cars that we got here. It's broken off just a little bit, but it's everybody from really P11 all the way up into P5. They're all in a massive train, just waiting for one another to mess up and looking to maximize and capitalize on any minor mistakes, just like that one that Rain has behind. And I'm trying to close that gap between me and H the second. I try to get a better entry, and it pays off on corner exit. That gap now goes down to 0.2 for a second, and it teeters between 0.2 and 0.3, and it settles at 0.3. But we have the slipstream, and we're chasing H the second down. Nichols has been able to create a bit of a barrier between the pair of us. As I look for it up the inside, am I going to be able to get it done? No, I'm not. I have to tuck in. I have to think better of it for the sake of both of our races. Nichols gains a 10th on entry, loses 2 on exit, almost 3 for a second. And throughout that entire horseshoe curve, you're really wrestling with the balance of the car, really trying to get it to bite down and turn in and give you that full rotation that you need as quickly as possible without sawing at the wheel too terribly much or giving up too much speed. It's a true dance that you have with the car, and it makes it a lot of fun. It's very satisfying when you get it wrong, when you get it right, but boy, oh boy, does it hurt when you get it wrong. I'm looking at the gap, and I have to mind the gap between me and the car behind. That's Rain. We almost come together there, almost taking each other out our lines, briefly overlapping, and that just goes to show you how everybody's minds are working. Everybody's minds are working different to solve the problem that is getting ahead of whoever's ahead of you currently. H the second is using that terrible exit that I had out of that last turn to his full advantage, all the way down to the run of sector of turn 1. And Rain, through goes Rain almost. We touch once, twice, 3 times I returned the favor on that little love tap that he gave me on corner exit, and I have the inside line for the horseshoe, and we come together once again. Rain isn't gonna like that. He's feeling courageous. He's feeling froggy. He's gonna jump. How high? High enough to get the move done. But he can't exhale just yet. He still has to hold his breath. He's gonna have to hold his breath for the rest of this lap. It is the final lap of this race. It's all gonna be decided here. We all have to leave it out on the track, and we have left the rest of those cars behind that we were so close to once before. Just goes to show you how much time you can gain when you're so locked in, and it's gonna take every bit of that locked inness to catch Rain. That gap briefly goes down to 0.4. It's down to 0.4 again, up to 7/10. He gets a better exit out of there. And am I going to have something to say about it? He weaves down the front straightaway, trying his best to break that toe. I weave with him because at this point I have nothing to lose. But it's going to be just enough. And Rain gets it at the very, very end. But that's going to do it for today's banger video. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. Take care. Have a great rest of your day. Be safe. And of course, peace.